3 self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back from achieving success. The things you believe about yourself and about the world are ultimately what will define how you think about yourself and how you act. Beliefs determine thoughts, and thoughts determine behavior. This is what many people don't realize when trying to start a business, improve their relationships, or otherwise make big changes in their lives. They focus far too much on external factors and forget to look at themselves. If you have a limiting belief, then no changes you make to your environment or circumstances will lead to the outcomes you desire. Here are 3 examples of limiting beliefs that can have that effect. You're not good enough. Let's say you have a great idea for a business or for a new book, but you haven't followed through with it. Why might that be? For many people, it's down to the belief that they aren't good enough to succeed. And with that belief, they find it better simply not to try. The same thing can hold you back in a relationship if you think you're not good enough for someone. The truth is that you most likely are far more talented and capable than you give yourself credit for. Everything needs to be perfect. There is another common belief that can prevent many people from doing their best work. You will see this in particular with people who have created something that they plan to share with the world or sell. Very often, they will keep on working on their creation for years and years before abandoning it. Why? Because they are perfectionists, and they want to make their project perfect before releasing it. The problem? Nothing is ever perfect, and by doing this, they actually end up just procrastinating and putting off the moment where they might finally see a return on all their hard work. Failure is final. This belief is tied to the last one, the idea that if you fail, there is no turning back. This prevents people from taking chances, because they are so afraid of the consequences of getting something wrong. The truth, though, is that in dating, in health, in business, and in creative endeavors, you don't fail until you stop trying. Each failure is really just a lesson, allowing you to come back stronger and do better next time. When you view it this way, you will find that you never need to give up. 3 things that are draining your confidence. Confidence is one of the single most crucial contributors to success or failure. Your confidence, or lack thereof, is what will determine whether you take chances, whether you give up, and how others see you. The problem is that a lot of people lack confidence, and therefore never fulfill their potential. In this presentation, we'll look at 3 reasons why that might be. 3 reasons that may be destroying your confidence, and ways you can overcome these things in order to become the best version of you and enjoy a happier and more successful life. Other people. One of the number 1 things that can drain confidence is unfortunately the influence of other people. Many of us have friends who put us down, even partners and parents who do. Others might have cruel or unkind colleagues. The aim then is try and remove those influences wherever possible from your life. If you feel that someone is a toxic or negative influence on you, then stop spending time with them wherever possible. If that's not an option, then simply remind yourself that it's most likely that they are unhappy with themselves and that this is why they are taking out their feelings on you. Past experiences. We are all shaped and guided by our past experiences, and some of us will have particular relationships, jobs, or other memories that make it hard for us to believe in ourselves and what we're capable of. Learning to let go is a valuable and important skill, and one that you can do by reliving those experiences with a calmer mind and assessing them logically. Another tip, move on by throwing yourself into a new relationship or project once you're ready. Shortcomings. Another thing that can drain your confidence is simply focusing on your own shortcomings, things you can't do or don't like about yourself. The bad news is that some of your shortcomings you'll never be able to change. But at the same time, you will find that there are ways to overcome those setbacks. Focus not only on drawbacks, but on your skills and abilities. Find partners and teammates who can complement your skills with their own. And likewise, try to choose projects that play to your strengths. And where possible, do what you can to work on your weaknesses. If you don't like the way you look, then dressing sharp and choosing the right haircut can do a world of good for your confidence. 3 tricks to instantly turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Negative thoughts have far more profound negative impact on our lives than many people realize. A negative thought can not only make you feel less happy in the moment, but can cause you to engage in less optimistic and positive behavior. Over time, these small differences add up to huge changes and make you a much less happy and successful individual. The good news? It's possible to take any negative thought and turn it into something much more positive. In this presentation, we'll look at how you can go about doing just that. See the challenge. One way to turn a negative thought into a positive one is to relish in the challenge. If you find yourself stressed about the amount of work coming up, for instance, you can just tell yourself that you'll need to work extra hard and that this is a test of your ability. You can then also relish in the feeling of success when it all goes to plan. The beauty of life. A sad thought can be crushing and really take the wind out of our sails at times. But while sad thoughts might be difficult to deal with, the thing to remember is that they are just a part of life and are actually extremely important to helping us live life to the fullest. Without sadness or the occasional thing going wrong, we would never get to appreciate how great it is when things go right. Moreover, if you feel sad that something ended, it means that you enjoyed a relationship or experience that was truly worthwhile. All good things come to an end. You can accept this inevitability and feel lucky that it happened at all. Thought challenging. Finally, if the thoughts are still pervasively negative, it might be time to challenge them. Thought challenging is a cognitive restructuring technique that comes from cognitive behavioral therapy. It means looking at the content of a limiting belief or negative thought. If I try X, then I will end up penniless. And then really assessing logically just how likely that is. Often, you can definitely prove that the fears and thoughts holding you back are not based on reality, but are instead simply self-defense mechanisms. Once you can disprove your concerns or show that they are highly unlikely, you will find it's much easier to chase after the things you want in life. 5 mantras that will boost your self-esteem. A mantra is a positive statement or word that you repeat over and over in order to change the way you are thinking. By doing this, you can remind yourself to alter your focus and to overcome negative emotions. Mantras like this can be used in the moment in order to put your mind at rest and build confidence before an interview, date, exam, or anything else. What really makes mantras powerful, though, is the fact that repeating them every single day can help you to develop positive habits and even grow and thicken your neural tissue so that it becomes easier to think positively as a natural tendency. Without further ado then, let's listen to 5 positive mantras that will boost your self-esteem. Number 1. I have already accomplished a lot. This one is a great one because it reminds you to reflect on your past wins rather than losses, and to remember that no matter what happens in the future, you have already accomplished a great deal. We have all things to be proud of, so if you take a moment to reflect on those things, you'll be able to attack your next challenge with a fresh vigor and positivity. Number 2. I have friends and family who love me. This is a great one to remember because it shows that you must have great value and worth to those people, and also reminds you that whatever else happens, this truth will be a constant. Number 3. I am constantly growing and adapting. Nothing is set in stone. You don't have to accept your limitations because you are constantly growing and improving yourself. By doing this, you are able to see your limitations as temporary challenges to overcome, and not as permanent barriers standing in your way. Number 4. I can choose how to respond. This one is a reminder that you're in control, and that you have an internal focus of control. Many of us feel like victims that are beholden to circumstance and the environment. In truth, though, you are always able to control your response to a situation, and therefore to make the best of a potentially negative situation. Remember this, and you'll be happier and more in command of your own destiny. Number 5. Everyone is equal. This one is great because it's not only a kind message, but also one that helps you take the world by storm. When you remember that everyone is equal, it means that you are also equal. Too many of us think that we are somehow inferior, but by honestly believing that everyone has value, you remind yourself that you do as well. Thus, you have just as much to offer as anyone else, and they better listen up. 5 morning mindset rituals to help you win the day. Here's how the typical day starts. Stop me if it sounds familiar. Your alarm blares at 7 a.m. in the morning and makes you jump into life. Never mind that this creates a huge surge of cortisol and adrenaline that makes you extremely stressed. Then you check your emails and feel a little bit more stressed about that one from your boss. Then you drink a strong mug of coffee, basically stress in a mug, before hopping into your car, onto the subway, and being stressed by all the other commuters. Not exactly a relaxing way to start your day, right? But what can you do? Well, listen to the rest of this presentation, and I'm going to share with you 5 morning rituals that will put you in a much more positive mindset. Wake naturally. First, wake naturally. Either use light from the window or invest in a medical-grade daylight lamp that will slowly get brighter and wake you that way. Don't look at your phone or email. Not only does the light from a computer or phone trigger cortisol release, but looking at a phone this way is liable to mean feeling stressed about emails and problems. You become reactive rather than proactive. Save this until you get into work. Have a green tea. The natural balance of caffeine and I-theanine will help you wake up, but in a much gentler and more natural way that is actually very good for you. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. This is a great way to put yourself in a positive mindset and to remind yourself of things you've done right. You can even try focusing on your recent wins and successes, which will help you start the day feeling like a successful winner rather than someone who is struggling just to stay afloat. Meditate. Finally, try 10 minutes of meditation. While there are many different forms of meditation, they all ultimately describe the same thing: focusing on something and choosing what you want your mind to concentrate on. Using meditation can thereby help you to rise above your problems and stresses, and to achieve a sense of calm that will prevent you feeling anxious or upset. What's more, is that this will help you to become better at doing that naturally over time. Your default response to problems will be to feel calm and focus on something else, rather than let them take over your emotions. How to condition your mind to attract anything you want. There are things that all of us want to achieve in life. Even the happiest and most accomplished person will still have goals and aims. But if you're going to be successful in achieving those things, first you need to identify why you haven't already been successful. And this comes down to looking at your thoughts and emotions. The issue is that most of us possess limiting thoughts and beliefs that make us think we can't achieve the things we want. We believe that we don't deserve happiness, or we believe that we aren't good enough. Maybe we're scared of the things that could go wrong, or maybe we lack the confidence we need to speak up. That in turn will then change the way others see you, as well as your own behavior. This process can actually have the effect of preventing you from achieving the things you want to or fulfilling your potential. Let's say you want a promotion at work. If you hold on to the belief that you aren't good at your job, then you likely won't speak up in meetings, won't dress in a sharp suit, won't take on more responsibilities, etc. The result? People don't think you are very good at your job, and you don't progress. Conversely, if you think you're amazing at your job, then you'll be more outspoken, and you'll be more likely to achieve the things you want. The same is true in dating, travel, creative work, and much more. You change your thoughts, you change the outcomes. How do you achieve this? First, you make sure you understand this truth, which will help you to better recognize that everything is negotiable. Next, you start to dress, act, and behave as though you are already the person you want to be. That means dressing for the job you want, using a confident body language, and speaking in a confident manner. Over time, this practice will help you to create new neural pathways, and after a while of faking it, that behavior will become normal. But just wait 1 minute. That might all sound great, but acting more confident is easier said than done, right? It's hard to act like someone you're not. Well, in that case, you might appreciate this little trick. Try visualizing instead. Visualization is risk-free and something you can do from the comfort of your home. But the best part? It is just as effective at creating new neural pathways and habits. And that is how you condition your mind to attract anything you want. How to develop a gratitude attitude. Many of us believe that the way we think and feel is something that we have no control over. We believe that this is a part of our personality, and that our personality is a biologically set variable. In truth, though, your personality is permeable, the result of a plastic and flexible brain that is constantly changing and adapting like a muscle. And just like a muscle, you can train your personality in order to become more conducive to the kinds of things you want to accomplish in life. In this presentation, we'll see how you can train yourself to feel more gratitude, and how this can make you happier and more successful. First then, Why is gratitude so important? The simple reason is that gratitude allows us to stop and feel appreciation for the things we have already accomplished. Very often, we make the mistake of constantly chasing after the next thing without ever stopping to appreciate what we already have. Not only does this mean we never feel happiness or a sense of accomplishment, it also means that we lose sight of what is important and what matters. This is the fate of many a high-flying executive who worked harder and harder to earn more money so that they could spend more time with their family, never to realize that they now have the money and freedom to do just that, but are still taking on too much work. So how do you cultivate gratitude and reset your mind? The answer is to take time every day to look at the things that you have in your life that you're grateful for, and to allow yourself to enjoy how those things make you feel. When you wake up tomorrow morning, start your day by sitting down and writing down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be big things, your health, your marriage, your children, or small things, your cereal. By taking a moment to think about this, you can remind yourself that life is good and that you have a lot to be thankful for. Not only that, but you might realize you have everything you need and can be content with what you've already accomplished. More importantly, though, by continuously rehearsing gratitude, you'll find you can actually strengthen the brain networks associated with this behavior. The result? It becomes a habit, and you find yourself happier and more positive all the time. How to feel positive every day with 3 simple tricks. Positivity is one of the most powerful and most underrated traits that we can develop. So often you hear about people wanting to be better looking, stronger, thinner, smarter, or funnier. But how about more positive? Being more positive means you'll take more chances in your life. It means that you'll be more inclined to spot positive opportunities. And it means that you'll give off a positive energy that makes others want to spend time with you. In fact, you can even become luckier by many measures, simply by adopting a more positive mindset. This has to do with the law of attraction, which we won't get into here. So how do you become more positive? Here are 3 easy tricks you can use every single day. Focus on the positive. Many people will try to develop a gratitude attitude by focusing on the things in life that they are grateful for. They might do this at the end of each day by writing down those things in a journal, for example. But you can really do this with anything. How about taking the time to write down 3 things you did really well lately? Or 3 things that you are excited about and looking forward to? You can do this in the morning, and you'll find that you feel more positive for the rest of the day. Plus, you'll find it becomes easier to think more positively in the future as you develop the habit. Looking for the positive spin. In a similar manner, you can likewise practice looking for the positive spin in any situation. When something bad happens, look for the opportunities and ask yourself what the good news is. While this can be hard when you're feeling low, it can also immediately improve the situation, and it can help you to develop more positive habits. Look after your health. Finally, know that positivity is born from the way you feel in yourself. If you're hungry, tired, and out of shape, then you will struggle to focus on the positive. Sleep well, eat well, and supplement your diet with nutrients, and you'll feel more positive all of the time. Exercise is particularly good for this because it encourages the production of endorphins, like serotonin, that place us in a better mood, thereby making everything else seem more positive. How to let go of pattern thinking. All of us have common mistakes we make and common traits that hold us back. We're all guilty of occasionally falling into old habits and routines that we associate with suboptimal performance. Maybe you're someone who is very pessimistic. Maybe you're an angry person with a short temper. Maybe you're known for trying to cut corners and making mistakes as a result. You might try to break free from these associations, but find that it's hard to do so. We often fall back into our old ways and end up making the same old mistakes. Why is this? And what can you do about it? The problem we're describing here is sometimes referred to as pattern thinking. It means that our thoughts take on certain predictable patterns that are hard for us to break out of. So how do you overcome this pattern thinking? Where does it come from? Pattern thinking is a result of brain plasticity, the ability of the brain to change and grow in response to the way you use it. Every time you think or do something new, you create new pathways and connections as physical alterations in the biology of the brain. But if the brain is so changeable, how does this lead to pattern thinking? The problem is that if you keep doing the same thing, then you will keep reinforcing the same behavior. Imagine a ski slope. The snow is highly malleable. But if everyone takes the precise route to the bottom, then that route will become deeply ingrained, and it will be harder to go any other way. This is what happens in the brain. By repeating the same thoughts over and over, those thoughts become deeply ingrained and hard to override. So, what can you do? There are a few things. The first is to make a good conscious effort to change yourself and to change how you view yourself. You can even throw a good pie party for your old self in order to restart life as someone new. This big gesture can help you to let go of those old patterns of behavior. Another option is to change your environment. The nature of our thoughts is such that they are triggered by many of the things in our environment that we have come to associate with them. While not everyone can afford to up and move country, even just redecorating can help you to mark a new start and to change the variables your brain receives as input. How to use the power of journaling to clear the mind. Many of us struggle daily with a noisy, angry, and anxious mind. We have 1,000 thoughts racing all at once, and this causes us to be distracted, unhappy, and far less effective and efficient than we could be. The good news is that there are many different ways that you can overcome this noise, and many different tools that you can use to calm and clear the mind. One of the most powerful of these, journaling. In this presentation, we'll see what journaling is, why it's such a powerful tool, and how you can start using it. So journaling essentially means keeping a diary of events and taking time to write down things that happen. Normally, you would do this at the end of every day. You can write as much or as little as you'd like. And while you can find structured books that help to guide you through the journaling process, it's also possible to approach journaling in a completely free-form manner and to write about whatever you wish. There are a few goals. Firstly, writing down what happened during the day is a great way to take stock and to see what went well and what went badly. We call this black box thinking, in that it allows you to see the mistakes you made to ensure you work better in the future. This can help you to dream more effectively and to remember more. When we sleep, we form stronger memories about important things, and we also make novel connections from what we've learned in order to learn new things. By writing last thing at night, you can tell your brain what to focus on when forming memories and coming up with new ideas. You can likewise use journaling in order to help yourself work through difficult emotions and things that went wrong. When you have an argument or you make a mistake, it's common to find yourself reacting harshly in the moment. This is naturally due to the cascade of neurotransmitters and hormones that flood into our brain. By taking time to take stock and to think about what happened logically, you can look at the problem with a much cooler head. The result, you wake up the next day with a calmer mind, and you are more likely to perform well and feel good about yourself.